This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So if you're just joining the rest of us after an extended, almost 2-year vacation where the internet and phones or newspapers weren't a thing, first, welcome back. I hope you had a great time. And secondly, let me very briefly catch you up on where Donald Trump stands as president after his first couple of years. Briefly as in, I'll do it in 4 words. Donald Trump is fucked. Yeah, things aren't looking good. In fact, at this point, Donald Trump's own hand-picked and Republican-led Justice Department has several independent criminal investigations into just about every facet of just about anything Donald Trump has ever touched, except cheeseburgers. Those are already gone, and the only evidence of them were on his bed sheets, which unfortunately got washed. So again, Donald Trump is staring down the daunting barrel of full-fledged Department of Justice investigations into the Trump Organization, the Trump Foundation, the Trump 2016 presidential campaign, the Trump Transition Team, the Trump Inaugural Committee, and of course, the Trump administration. Keep in mind that these aren't fruitless wild goose chases on the part of seasoned federal prosecutors and the Office of the Special Counsel. And they most certainly are not witch hunts, as Donald Trump is so often wont to say. Because if they were, they would be the most productive hunters of witches in the history of hunting witches. Donald Trump's national security advisor, Michael Flynn, pleaded guilty to lying to federal agents to cover up for Trump, and is set to be sentenced for his felony on December 18th. Oh, and not only is he a retired 3-star Army general, apparently he's also a witch. Donald Trump's campaign chairman, Paul Manafort. In one trial, he was found guilty by a jury of his peers of 8 felonies and pleaded guilty to a series of other felonies in order to avoid a second trial. He's close on many fronts to Russian money and power. And he's a witch! Rick Gates, Deputy Trump campaign chairman, convicted felon, certified witch. George Papadopoulos, convicted felon, jailbird, and coffee boy witch. And of course, who can forget Donald Trump's personal decades-long fixer and attorney, Michael Cohen, who was going to prison for several years for his many felonies uncovered by this short investigation. Not only is he a big-time witch, he must also be a pirate because of the treasure trove of dirty deeds he has allegedly provided both Robert Mueller's team of prosecutors and also the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. And this list is only those who have been nabbed by either pleading guilty to their crimes or found guilty in trial. There is a whole bevy of people close enough to individual number 1 that they've been important enough to require deeper and more time-intensive investigation. Roger Stone and his Russian intelligence operative communicating pal Jerome Corsi, Ivanka Trump, who is neck-deep in shady dealings with not only the Trump Organization and the Trump Foundation, she's also complicit in likely illegal acts related to negotiating contracts to feed tens of millions of dollars of donated inaugural committee monies into the Trump Organization. Also, Ivanka's husband, Wonder Boy, Jared Kushner, who is very likely to be indicted, convicted, and end up in jail. Like father, like son, you know? And speaking of father, like son, who could forget Donald Trump's wildly disappointing namesake, Donald J. Trump Jr., who is enmeshed in the mix as much as any one single person on the board here. He's had his money-grubbing mitts in every investigation point since the very beginning, and will very likely be the second to last domino to fall before the king of no collusion himself. Things are starting to look up. And look, We don't know if the Justice Department will change its internal policy related to indicting sitting presidents, or if maybe Trump intends to resign and be pardoned by a then doomed Mike Pence, or be impeached by the House and face a trial in the Senate filled with cowards who may or may not convict and remove him from office. Who knows? One thing is certain, though. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And every room Donald Trump spends any time in at all ends up a raging inferno.